Okay, today we are presenting Driving Innovation with Microsoft Power Apps for Integrated Supply Chain. We're here with Amit Reina, the Director of Strategic Engagements, and Khalid Mohammed, Director of Technology and Innovation at Arbella. All right, let's get this presentation started. Amit and Khalid, the floor is all yours.
Thanks, Koi. Hello, guys. My name is Amit Raina, and I'm Director of Strategic Engagement at Arbella. Hey, Koi, can you hear me? I want to make sure you can hear me.
You sound great.
All right, awesome. So just quick run through the agenda today. We'll have a quick round of introduction, which I've started already, and then we'll talk about Arbella's, about who Arbella is, some of the our history, a brief description, and then we'll get into strategy and innovation at Arbella. And then we'll go through some case studies around the 4 power apps that we've developed around the integrated supply chain side. We'll go through these power apps together. And then we'll do a quick demo. As we finish the demo, we'll do a recap on some of the items we've covered. And then we'll open up the panel for Q&A. Sounds good. Let's move on to the next slide, guys. All right. So before we get into demos and case studies, I just want to make sure that we talk about who Arbella is as an organization, because it's important to bridge the gap as we start talking and going through some of these demos. So you can see we are pretty much gold certified from Microsoft partner perspective, and we are in the inner circle of top 1% of Microsoft partner. And what that means is that we are a trusted technology advisors and visionaries that relay a vision of what's working and what's not working with Microsoft at a very advisory role. And we also start to look at and advise on where the future is from both business and technology perspective. So by the numbers, we are 190 resource strong, which is a big number for a mid-market organizations within our channel today. It shows the breadth and depth of capabilities that we possess in terms of our senior industry experts that can support organizations such as yours as well. So we are a team of seasoned consultants with deep knowledge around not only around the application or applications, but also around the business such as manufacturing and others as well. We have 7 locations worldwide, and I'll talk about these locations in the next slide real quick. But as you can see, we are very cross-cultural. We speak 21 languages. Khaled, if you can go back to the slide above. We speak 21 languages and represent 30 nationalities across Arbella, and we take a lot of pride in that because we believe in trust, integrity, collaboration, and we are very client focused, right? We also have 500 exams passed and many certifications when it comes to Microsoft certs around there. In terms of industry, these are some of our core industries, be it manufacturing and distribution. That's where 70% of our business is focused on today. But we also do connected field service, and other industries we serve are engineering services, life sciences, entertainment, and media, and many more as well. Arbella does have quick accelerators as well, be it the quick start CRM or early stage life sciences, or just it be core finance, right? So these are the kind of industry capabilities that we have at Arbella. And then moving on to the Microsoft stack, you can see these are the chain of or all the business applications we serve, be it Dynamics 365 sales or 365 finance and supply chain. We pretty much covered all the breadth of Microsoft stack, when it comes to Azure or BI and analytics. And we also have our core products, from audit and security manager perspective, or our data warehouse capabilities when it comes to Arbella Data Insights, one-step consolidation, or MDM, which is the master data centralization. So we pretty much cover the entire stack when it comes to business applications within Microsoft ecosystem and within Arbella's accelerators and IPs as well. Now you're ready to move on to the next slide. So yeah, so this is our global footprint, right? Like I said, we have 7 offices worldwide. We are headquartered in Irvine, California, offices in Dallas, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We also have an office in Toronto in Canada, offices in Denmark, UK, and Ukraine as well. And the blue portion is where we have the Arbella experience. We also have Arbella's partner experience wherever it's marked in yellow, be it in South America, Brazil, or Argentina, or within APAC countries as well. So it pretty much shows you our global footprint and the depth we have in supporting across all time zones, 24/7, and our partnership with our exclusive Microsoft partners when it comes to serving you with localizations and regulations within these countries as well. Ready to move on to the next slide. So I just want to talk about Arbella's strategy and innovation a little bit here, because I think it's important when it comes to what we do as an organization. So we have a team of strategic engagement managers, or strategic engagement team, where we just don't come and implement a solution. We come in as strategic advisors, right? So we try to understand what business goals does your company have. Business goals such as you may want to increase revenue by 2% by 2021, or reduce cost within your warehousing operations by, I don't know, $100,000 or by 10%, or maybe you want to manage risk, be it contractual and commercial risk. So we come and understand those goals, and then we drive strategies on how to make it happen, right? And we'll see this in this demo as well. So maybe that example of reducing cost within your warehousing operations, especially around receiving, which could be quite cumbersome today, right? You may have to receive hundreds of lines, but with a solution which we develop tactics and enablers. A tactic here could be you want to reduce non-value added time in your warehouse operations, right? And then how do we measure those capabilities? So we also do kind of KPIs, which leads to leading and lagging indicators on measuring those benefits, and then mapping those benefits and those business goals and strategies to functional capabilities. So in this case, in our example, the functional capability could be introducing a receiving app, which allows you to quickly receive your consignment which has come from your vendor through your mobile phone or through a Power App on a mobile phone, rather than going into D365 Finance and Supply Chain or through some other application as well. So that's how we come together with our strategy, and we work closely with our innovation and technology team, which Khalid heads as well. And we then provide the ability to overcome all those challenges by mapping your goals and strategies to tactical enablers and to measure some of those benefits through functional capabilities.
Good.
Khalid, do you want to add something to that?
Yes, I do. Hi, this is Khalid Muhammad. I'm Director of Technology and Innovation in Arbella. So just to piggyback on like what Amit was talking about, right? Like Arbella is like not only going to be like our focus is not only to be an typical implementation partner and provide like a D365 business applications, but we also like think about like how to convert your like strategies into like function capability, right? When you're trying to do that, we face like quite a few challenges, because like no ERP or like no CRM tool is kind of like a one size solution, right? It's not like a one size fits all solution. So you have to like either customize it, or you have to come up with like some innovative way. So my team, what we are heading over here is like it works on like figuring out like these challenges. So in collaboration with Amit or like his whole team, and we come up with like innovative ways to like solve their challenges. So today's presentation, right, we are going to like focus on like how we have like used Power Platform to actually overcome like quite a few challenges for our customers. Because like to customize anything in D365, you as you guys might be already aware of it needs to go through like a huge release management cycle, and you need to have like a developer always involved, right? With Power Platform, you are actually working with like low code and no code areas, right? So that's what like the innovation is actually coming into picture, thing like how we can integrate, how being a pro developer you can work with like a low code and no code solution and come up with like something to meet clients' business goals and their strategies. So that is the whole combination of strategies and innovation actually comes hand in hand in Arbella, and like we have done like quite a few successful solutions. So today's presentation is to showcase you guys like what are the point solutions which we have developed for our clients and how we have delivered it. And there are like some IPs also we are going to talk about it. So with that being said, I'm going to move into like the first solution which we are going to showcase today. It is called like Arbella Receiving Buddy. So we literally took like 3 to 4 weeks to implement this application. The purpose of this application is, right, like in D365 finance and supply chain, if you have to do like any kind of receipts, like if you have to do like any product receipt, or you have to do like a receipt list created as a receiving clerk, you have to either like there is no mobility option for it. You have to either work with like customize your D365 to create like mobile workspaces and do like all the invest on it, or you have to you have to actually like buy like a third party solution, right? Instead of that, like what we have done, like to provide a mobility option for like receiving clerk, what receiving clerk, like we came up with like a power app. There's also another alternative where you can actually enable like advanced warehouse management, but as you know, like advanced warehouse management comes with its own set of overhead, like where you have to like define your warehouses, you need to define your quarantine warehouses, like all the whole layouts and whatnot. So customers were not really interested in like implementing advanced warehouse management for their area. So what we did was like they came up with this power app solution where you can literally like scan things. Like when I say scan things, you can actually scan like a scan like a purchase order number, and it will show up like all the details for it, and you can pick like what lines you want to like today receive it, or what lines you want to register. You can perform those actions with like few clicks of buttons, and like and mobile apps are like the way we have developed is like they're pretty much like user friendly, so we don't really need like a huge training challenge. Because if you guys really understand, right, like Dynamics 365 for operations, or like finance and supply chain, the way we call it right now, it has to go through like the whole change management curve. And mobile apps actually to have it like user friendly apps actually helps like warehouse workers to focus or to streamline their business goals rather than like figuring out the technology. So that was the major purpose of like building this solution, and this is how we came up with this Arbella Receiving Buddy. With that being said, right, like just to give an overview, like it took like 3 to 4 weeks of implementation. Like the whole power app costed around like $15,000 of effort, which is very less compared to like to advanced warehouse management overhead what you're considering, right? And we have like SME, and everything was like done 100% remotely. And this app, this solution can also be like customized to like add on things to it. With that being said, I'm going to move to the next solution. We are going to give you guys a demo after the end of like all the 4 case studies, right? Second app is like, it's called like Arbella Restocker here. This is more for like to simplify like bin replenishment operations in like remote locations. So what we have done is like we have created like a power app which can work like in online and offline mode, where you can literally like look up the customer what you're serving today, and scan the barcodes which are assigned to them, and that barcode will kind of create a sales orders for you within like few minutes, few clicks and whatnot. So this is more for like reordering inventories, and it's more for like reordering inventory, and we wanted to give like mobile and remote option. With power apps you have the ability to actually develop like offline capability apps, and we have a customer who was like who was working like who have like remote locations where they don't really have the internet going on, and they have like this barcodes kind of sitting on their stock, and they have to like reorder it. Right now the reorder process was like they have to literally write down in a paper, and they come back to their desk and come out of the remote location and like go back to the desk and like manually do it. So we optimize this by like creating like a simple Arbella restocker app, where you can actually like service your customer in like even in an airplane mode or like an offline mode. Next one is like delivery register. This is more for like your capturing the delivery audit. Let's say if you have to like if you had delivered a product to your customer and you need to like get a signature of it. It's more like, think of it like more like a UPS or a USPS, like the way they take your signatures out like whenever they deliver this to you. You have delivered like similar kind of framework here, where we can where we can have like a truck, like the truck driver or like the delivery person to actually take the signatures from take the signature, capture the signature like of the delivery, saying okay, this product was delivered to so and so guy, and we capture that information in D365 as well. So it's kind of like you have an audit trail of like the product which was delivered, right? And if there is like if there is like any damage kind of like reported, like we can actually like even track it. Just to do the same activity like in any other kind of just to do the same activity in like any other kind of like application, right? Like you might have to like do like sorry, like if you might have to like do like build like a .NET product or like a mobile application to do the same activity. But what we are able to achieve, like within like 2 to 3 weeks of implementation, we were able to spin off a Power App and solve their like solve their issue. The next solution what we have is like a vendor validation. So we are actually working with like one of the clothing store here, and where we really need like to simplify their like a vendor validation process. So before like they are opening like vendor for business, we want to like before they are opening the vendor for business, we want to like have like a particular like validation check. Like, so when you click like either name of the vendor, like address of the vendor, do we have the contact person in place? So we actually have like created like a little grade matrix where a buyer can actually like qualify the vendor to open for business. And we delivered it like we also created like another point solution using the Power App. So like not only Power Apps, like within Arbella organization, right, we have worked on like quite a few Power Platform. We actually like hold like Power Platform expertise around like all the 4 pillars what you have: Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents. So within the organization, we have like the capabilities. Like today's call is like more about like showing you guys like the Power Apps ability. Like sooner or later, we might be also showing you guys like how did we do like robotic process automations and whatnot. With that being said, like I'm going to hand over this to like Amit to do a demo of like all the products we have done, all the products what we have like for you.
Thank you, Khalid. That was very well put together. So what I'm going to do is make me the presenter, Khalid, real quick.
Trying to find you. Here you go. You have the power.
Thank you. And let me know if you see my my phone.
Yes, I can.
Very good. All right, guys. So I'm literally sharing my phone with you guys right now. Let's dig into the 4 Power Apps that that Khalid was referring to. The first one we're going to start is the Receiving Buddy, and there's a use case behind it, right? One of our customers who've implemented the Power Platform, especially D365 Finance and Supply Chain, had a requirement to configure their warehousing operations using advanced warehouse management. And they wanted to do that in phase 1, but in phase 2, they wanted to deploy all the mobile scanners and make all those investments so that they can use mobility in the warehouse. One of the challenges they had was they have these multi-line POs, right? Even with scanners, the ability to scan the barcodes or the license plates and move the receiving process, both from receiving and put away perspective, or even within Dynamics 365 full screen, without the mobile phones, be able to receive those goods multi-line POs was very cumbersome, right? And like I said, they had hundreds of lines that they had to receive. And the use case also came up in one of the sessions we had with prospects as we were showing them the inbound receiving process using advanced WMS and showing advanced receiving process in D365. Their comment was, this is very cumbersome. This will take us so much, hours and hours to receive these POs, whereas we want a quick way to receive those POs, right? So we created a POC. We started with a prototype to show them how easy it is to develop a low-code, no-code solution through an innovative receiving app. And then in the end of the demo, when we finally demonstrated, they were, least to say, they were very happy with the receiving process. So that's the use case that we, business case that we developed around a customer and a prospect. And I'm just going to demonstrate how that the receiving process looks. So I'm going to go into my app called Receiving Buddy. Looks like, let's just give it a little while. Let me make sure that my environment is working on the other side as well. Alrighty, give me a sec. Let's just try it once again. All right, let's just do this. Sorry for the technical difficulty here, guys. Give me a sec. Well, let me try another app. Maybe receiving we can show a little later. Let's do maybe stock replenishment or restocker. I'm going to take a couple of minutes to see what's going on here, guys. All right. Just bear with me for 5 minutes. Maybe it's the internet here. Let me just check my internet connectivity real quick. It is connected. Let's just try one more time. It looks like it's back up. All right, let's start with another app. We'll work on the receiving app a little bit, but let's start with the delivery register. And Khalid has already kind of talked about the use case behind it. So from business perspective, this is one of the requirements which has come from one of our customers. And the pain point they had was, when an order is packing slip updated, there was this requirement to capture the signature and attach that signature to any subsequent documents which would be generated by the order. In this case, it will be invoice, right? So to accomplish this, we kind of developed a Power App that can be leveraged to pull orders and prompt for a signature to be captured and then saved as a file on a packing slip. And then once that signature is printed, we can copy that signature as an image on the invoice. So when the customer gets the invoice, it not only becomes a signature capture capability, but also a proof of delivery concept as well. And the way we would do it is, one of their delivery people would go to a customer site, just like a FedEx or a UPS, and they will have a packing slip with them. The packing slip will have a barcode or the sales order number with a barcode. We provide an ability to scan that barcode, which I'm going to do in just a little while. So you can scan this barcode, which will pull up the packing slip. But since I'm working remote, I don't have a printed packing slip with a barcode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to simply enter the sales order number that I want to capture the signature for. So I'm going to go, assuming that I'm scanning the packing slip. I'm going to do this real quick. Let's try one more time. You know what? I think I'm gonna probably do it from the browser. There's probably something happening on my phone which is not letting me get onto this. If I don't do this, I'm probably gonna do it on my browser, guys. I actually just tested this before the demo. Let's try to do it one more time and then see what happens. Okay. All right, I'm gonna probably do this from my browser. Sorry guys for the technical difficulty here. Let's do this from the browser. I'm gonna open up the browser here. Okay, let's see. Hey guys, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Again, apologies guys, I wasn't able to demo this on the phone. There's some technical difficulty, so I'm gonna try and do it via my screen here. So we'll go back to the receiving buddy, right? We talked about the ease of be able to receive goods from the vendor in an easy manner. So what I'm going to do is the app gives me a nice little message. Hello, Ahmed. Welcome to Receiving Buddy. I can actually do the receiving by scanning the purchase order number, the barcode on the purchase order, or I can do the receiving process by going through the item number as well. In my case, I'm going to go to the purchase order. I'm going to, like I said, you can actually scan the purchase order number. But in this case, I'm going to assume I have a PO with a barcode. I'm going to scan the barcode on the PO. And let's just see. There's my, on my PO, I have 2 items. There's a toner and a speaker unit. What I could do is, if this was a multi-line PO with hundreds and hundreds of items, I could have easily scrolled through my screen, selected the items that I want to receive. But I have a 2-line PO. What I'm going to do is on my mobile phone, through my Power App, I'm going to select the items that I want to receive. I can either do the receipt list here, or I can go directly into the product receipt, right? So if I want to simplify the process, I don't want to go through the entire receiving a list process, I can click on product receipt. The first thing the app wants me to do is to essentially enter the vendor's packing slip number. So I'm going to enter the vendor's packing slip number here, and it's going to prompt me to enter the quantity that I want to receive. So let's say in this case, I want to receive a quantity of 1, and I want to receive a quantity of 10, right? Once I have that, I have the ability to put in my signature as well. I'm going to say AR, and I'm going to put today's date, 10/15, and then I'm going to submit the product receipt. So when I submit the product receipt, what I want to show you real quick is on the within Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, I'm going to go through the purchase order that I just did, which was 0023. If I look at the purchase order, and if I go to my document handling, my document handling little clip over there, you'll see it has captured my signature, and it has proven that my product receipt was done on 10/15, right, on October 15. Again, the idea is, guys, easy process, even in terms of how we were talking about strategy and innovation. Instead of, if you wanted to reduce the warehouse operations, the cost of the warehouse operations, you can actually do that by developing a very easy low-code, no-code Power App such as Receiving Buddy, which will assist you in streamlining your receiving business process within your warehousing operations.
Amit, can you also like open up the product receipt? Because this is just a signature, right? You can
Yeah,
the product receipt as well.
we can do that as well. We can go to product receipt. And you'll see we have the product receipt journal created with that receiving process too. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is the restocker. And let's open that up real quick. So this is a very interesting requirement or use case that came up to the client. This client of ours, they have a concept of what they call bin stock drivers. These bin stock drivers, they travel to customer sites. The customer sites could be, areas, or it could be, mining sites or underground sites, or areas where your team cannot perform an online operation. So they wanted an app which could work both offline and online. And the business case is when they go to a customer site, they visually check which bins need product or needs replenishment. And through easy mobile scanning ability, what they want to do is scan the barcodes of those items and then be able to generate these orders in D365 as they are scanning those barcodes on the product. So this app allows us to do that. As you can see, it's got a nice little restocker symbol, sending me a message, hello Amit, who are we helping today? And it's asking me to look up the customer. And I can actually look up the customer. I can look it up by the name or by the number if I know that. But if I don't, I can simply select a customer I want, right? So I'm going to select Forest Wholesales, and it gives me nice little message here. Hey Amit, let's restock. Gives me the little detail about the Forest Wholesales as a company as well, their address. If we want to add more fields or more information here, we can do that too. But again, the idea is now that I'm a bin stocker and I'm basically walking through their warehouse, I'm in aisle A, bin 1, 2, 3, 4, and I see there are some items that needs to be replenished. I can actually go and scan those items. The trouble is that I'm actually on my computer right now. I won't be able to scan those barcodes because my computer doesn't have a barcode scanning ability. But if it was a mobile phone, it would give me the ability to scan all of those barcodes and be able to enter the quantity that I want to replenish. And then when I submit the order, it goes and write a sales order or a sales code if it's for a prospect or for a customer as well. Be able to write that on the in D365 Finance and Operations as well. And after the demo, I'm going to try one more time to see if I can show you this on my mobile phone, if the connectivity is still there. If not, but I think you get the concept and the use case of what this application can do. Moving on, let's just go to the next app, which is the delivery register. So the delivery register application, what that does is, this is also a pretty interesting scenario where we talked about when the signature capture on the packing slip, and then how we capture that on the invoice as well. So the idea is, one of our delivery people goes to a customer site. They have a packing slip, they have a product, they they have this application as well. When they deliver the product to the customer, and the application prompts them to capture the signature of the customer on the packing slip, so it attaches that signature to the packing slip, and then finally to the invoice, where it becomes a proof of delivery when the customer gets the invoice, right? So if I had the camera on or my mobile phone on, I could have used the capture button here and could have scanned the barcode on the packing slip. But I'm going to assume I have a barcode, and I'm going to scan the barcode, and I'm going to try and register the packing slip. So let's just give this a little time. This is my sales order number. As you can see, I have 3 packing slips already on this sales order. I'm going to click on the first one, and it's prompted me to capture the signature. I have different options. I can either use a tool to broaden my signature, or use some color options and do all of that cool stuff. But I'm going to just capture the signature of the customer, and going to put a nice little smiley face here as a proof of delivery. And then when I register, what it's going to do is it's going to capture that signature and then go back to my sales order and attach that signature to my sales order. So I'm going to go back to D365 Finance and Operations application. I'm going to go to my sales order, and to verify my sales order was 714. I'm going to go to my sales order. As you can see, I got a little notification as well. We'll look at these notifications in a little while, but if I go to my document handling again, you'll see that I've registered a packing slip, and it has a nice little my signature with a smiley face. I'm going to copy the signature from my packing slip to my invoice as well, so that when my customer gets the invoice, it also gets the proof of delivery that the delivery was made, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much from the delivery register side. The last application or the last Power App that I'm going to talk about is the vendor verifier. So again, there's a very interesting use case behind this Power App as well. So as part of a vendor onboarding process for one of our customers, just imagine you have a vendor which undergoes the onboarding process. They needed the ability to do further validation by going through a checklist of must-haves within D365. So such as, you got to have vendor number, you got to have vendor's contact, you got to have vendor's address, you got to have a vendor's banking information, and so on and so forth. So till the time you verify all of these checklists are marked as yes, the vendor will be put on hold in D365, and only after the vendor verification happens, the system will remove the vendor from on hold and be able or be ready for the business owners or business process owners or users at that customer to start transacting with that vendor, right? So you can look up a vendor if you want, or you can use the drop down to select a vendor. I'm going to use a drop down, and I'm going to go and go next. As I go next, these are the the 6 must-haves that you gotta check before you sort of remove the vendor on hold. And there's also grading here. So as I move through these different list of must-haves, you will see that the grade changes, which prompts me to ensure that the vendor validation is happening in a couple of steps, right? So so do I have the vendor name? Yes, I do. I'm going to check that as yes. Do I have a vendor address? Yes, I have the vendor address. Do I have a vendor contact person? No, I don't. So if I don't have that, I won't be able to approve that vendor, right? So we just wanted to make sure that we show you if there's a set of information that is not available, that we don't get to approve that vendor, right? So let's assume the vendor had a contact person as well. So we're going to check that contact person, and you'll see that the grade has moved to C. Does the vendor have a business email? And I'm going to say yes, the vendor has a business email as well. I'm going to check that. And does the vendor have a business phone? Yes, they have a business phone. So when I'm making these check, you'll see that the grade is moving from D to C to B. And finally, if I have the vendor bank account, I can click on the vendor bank account, and it's going to approve the vendor checklist. And what it does in D365 is it goes and it removes that vendor from on hold, and we, with the notifications to the users who are part of this business process, that the vendor has been removed on hold and that you are ready to transact with that vendor. So yeah, these are the 5 or the 4 sort of power apps that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm going to hand it over back to Khalid. So Khalid can then sort of wrap it up with this demonstration.
Thank you, Ahmed. Give me 1 second to make myself. Can you make me presenter so I can? I think you did.
Yes, I did.
Let me share my screen and let's quickly give like a. So just to recap, right? Like what we are trying to achieve here is like we're trying to create like point solutions to the common challenges, right? Common challenges and needs of like the customer. Kind of like creating like some Power App solutions without having to like customize our framework, without having to like create like customize like D365 finance and supply chain, right? We're trying to create like PowerPoint solutions which can address a particular role. So the first one, what you guys really saw was like more on like the receiving clerk role, which we tried to create like a point solution for them without having to enable like the warehouse management system, right? And next one which you guys all saw was like around like restocker. It is more for again like it's for like vendor owned in vendor managed inventory, right? Like for your buyers to like go and like to able to reorder the inventories, right? Next one was like then we talked about like delivery register. Again, like that role was like again it was very much role specific, trying to get like a delivery auditing kind of done for your truck drivers, like whoever we have like on the who are they are like on the field without having for the people like who don't really work with D365 finance and operations, right? They don't really have to work with D365 finance and operations. They are already they're just trying to get their job done without having to access like finance and operations and whatnot. So what we are doing with this Power Apps is, right, we are trying to give like them ability to act on like D365 finance and supply chain without having to actually log into the system or without having to like run through the whole typical processes what you have to get done in like finance and supply chain. So that is what we call as like point solutions, and that is what we are trying to deliver here as part of the innovation idea. I want to apologize that like we had like some technical issues on like where we were not able to show the mobile phone, but that has been like we have been doing like several demos like throughout the week, and this is the first time I think like we have faced the challenge. But I don't think so. It has related to something to do with like Amit's phone, so I'm gonna blame it on Amit, and he's gonna take it. So I'm gonna with that being said, right, like all these apps what we are doing, we are also like based on the challenges what we have received, right, like we are going to like push them to app source soon as well, because as you guys know, like to get like anything to app source and make it like available for public, we have to make sure like we have to go through the quality checks of the product, make sure like it is compatible, and it's kind of like pretty much following the best practices which are needed for it. We already have like a couple of them already on the showcase partner showcase previously, which we have done with Arbella. This will be like another 4 applications which will be releasing soon. We can definitely do like orchestrate like a tailored demos for the shown products. So feel free to reach out to us for any details on like info@arbellatech.com, or like Koi, like or other people from my team are individually going to reach out to you guys. So
Hey, Khalid, actually, sorry to interrupt you, but actually the app has come back up again. So if you want, I can actually do the restocking app real quick.
Yeah, we do have like 10 minutes. So if you want to take like 5 minutes and kind of show them, that's fine, because I want to like open the platform for the questions.
Yeah, I'll just probably take a couple of minutes to show them the app because it's important to see the barcode scanning.
Sure, I'm going to make you presenter.
Yeah. Do you see my screen?
Yes, Amit.
Okay, so let me just make sure that it might have to do with, I was thinking it might have to do with this mirroring app, maybe. So let's see if you can see my app. You can see it now?
Yes, I can see your app.
All right, I'm gonna go to Restocker, right? So real quick, guys, this is the bin stock replenishment app. I can look up the customer. I'm gonna choose a customer, US Forest Wholesales. I'm going to go to the bin and I'm gonna scan my first item. you can see I have an item here which I'm going to scan. Once I scan the item, the system gives me the name of the item and prompts me to enter the quantity. I'm going to say I'm going to order 2 of these, and I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to go back to my scanner again. I'm going to scan my second item, and it's going to prompt me to enter another quantity. I'm going to order again, a quantity of 2, and then I'm going to go and scan my last item, and I'm going to enter a quantity of 5 here, and I'm going to click order. So as I'm ordering this, in a few minutes, you'll see it's given me a prompt that sales order 1111 was created. And if I go to my sales order, which is, let me just bring up my finance and operations screen real quick, so I can show you the how it created that sales order. So if I go to my sales order, and there's my sales order 1111, and that sales order has my 3 items with a quantity of 2 and 2 and 5. And while it's doing that, it's also given me some notifications in my Outlook telling me that the sales order was created from the restocker app, and these are the sort of notifications that I got when I was doing the packing slip signature capture as well. So back to you, Khalid. I just wanted to make sure that I show the the actual Power App, be able to show that from my phone. So I guess that was pretty much it. So I'm gonna give the control back to you real quick.
Thank you for that. Like, give me 1 second. So I'm going to share my screen again. Yeah, thank you for that. I think like again, just to recap, right? Like the one solution what you saw was like a solution what you saw was like we have like delivered like multiple like mobile apps which were developed like based on the Power Platform using Canvas Power Apps, and like multiple flows kind of created to it, which are kind of which are talking to D365 connectors and getting the whole providing like point solutions to like particular role and making sure like their like roles has been like they have like a simplified like job simplified like standard operating procedure which they can really follow to make the like job completed successfully. So I'm going to like I'm going to hand it over to Koi. Like you want to take this up and like wrap it?
Yep.
And
Okay. Thank you so much. I mean, Khalid. At this time, we would like to invite any of our attendees to ask questions you have. So once again, please submit the questions down in the questions window below.
Yep.
Okay. So we do have a few questions coming in. The first question is that what business value does signature capture provides to the customer when you can essentially get a packing slip signed and attached to the invoice?
Yeah, thanks, Koi. I'll take that one. I think the business value it brings in, it cuts down a lot of manual process. So, in this use case, the drivers or the deliver person was going to the customer's site and was asking them to sign a printed copy of the packing slip, then coming back in the office, scanning that packing slip and attaching it to an invoice, and then print out the invoice, print out the signature as well, and as a proof of delivery to the customer. There was a lot of redundancy and manual steps and manual processes. What that did is the Power App made it very automated. So by just going through a customer and prompting them to sign a packing slip, it took those non-value added activities from the process.
Great, thank you, Amit. So the second question is that can the vendor validation be performed inside D365 with some sort of workflow capabilities?
Yeah, I'll take that one as well. Yes, you can. You can configure workflows inside D365, which will, as part of the document routing process, which will take those vendor verification documents to be passed from people to people. But just imagine you will need configuration, you will need business process steps, you will need validation. Whereas with the app, what it does is it takes that entire workflow concept and builds it inside the Power App. So you don't have to be next to a computer or your laptop to submit a requisition. I'm sorry, submit the vendor verification process. You can actually do that all from your mobile phone. Again, it cuts those redundant steps and non-value added activities and makes the process more simplified.
Okay, great. We're just gonna wait for a few seconds to get in some questions. And please bear in mind, if we can't get to your questions, you can still submit the questions, and we will follow up with you individually in a few days. Okay, I think I'm just going to wrap this up. So that's all we have for today. Thank you, Amit and Khalid, for presenting, and everyone else for joining this presentation. We'll keep the session open just for a few minutes. So as a reminder, please submit any questions you have, and we'll follow up with you individually.